Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a video. And if you're a returning subscriber here, most welcome back, and thank you so much for supporting this channel. May God bless your abundance. In this channel, I talk about everything medical school, everything faith, everything Moscow or Russia. So I have not uploaded content this year. The last time I uploaded, I think, was on I actually did this year. I uploaded a YouTube short, I think on 1st January. Wish you guys Happy New Year. So I think it's lawful for me to say Happy New Year to everyone because I feel like my new year really started after the exams. I was really stressed. Not stressed in a bad way, but there was this need for me, like, I must pass these exams. Come on. I cannot reach in front of a teacher at my level and then they asking and I don't know. So there was that personal pressure that I placed on myself. I was like, oh, I need to know everything. I need to study for everything. So yes, before the end of the year, I disappeared and I started studying for the test particularly. I studied for it. And then, yeah, what happened? I think by the second week of January, I was getting some of the answers right when I did self-assessment and that. And it was not the kind of test that you can, because the pages were like 500 pages. There was a file that was 500 pages. There was another one that was 300 pages. And I went with the 500 pages and it was a file that I was studying. And of course I completed that and I was testing myself. I was getting some correct, some not really correct. And that in itself was just giving me a lot of pressure. I was like, oh my God, I don't need this test yet. I must know it. And yes, we continued studying, but at least by the second week of January, things were getting up together. And it was not the only subjects we had. We had polyclinic therapy, we had surgery. So the surgery was divided into two. There was gastroenterology and there was DSK chirurg as well. And then there was endocrinology and hospital therapy. So there were like 5 subjects in 3 days. And yes, the first one was chill. Teachers were asking, you could bargain with the teachers if they want to give this kind of marks, to tell them, no, you know what, I don't think I deserve this kind of marks. I overstudied, so I think I need this. Yeah, so there were kind of bargain. Of course, I didn't bargain. But yes, these were exams that we did not sleep. We did not sleep. So I was, and then I reached a point where I felt like I was really exhausted because I started at the end of December, and by the time the exams were approaching, I noticed that I was really exhausted. I was tired, mentally tired, everywhere tired. And you know, there were a lot of things that you're already doing, and then these exams are also here, so it was just draining me a lot and I had to just pack my things. I was like, you know what, Tina, you can't do this alone, go to your friends. So I went to my friends and I started studying with them. Of course, there was a lot of pushing here and there, telling them, guys, we need to, and yeah, there was going to work, coming back, and then me appearing in their rooms when they are tired and they have to wake up, they have to study with me. Sometimes we had to study until morning, like no sleep. And during that time, we had to go through the test. So it was really a lot of work. And of course, while communicating with my friends, I think this is how they named the exams. They said these were very traumatic exams, and I do agree with them because for me personally, it's not just about the process of preparing for the exams, but how they left me afterwards. I will explain that in a few minutes. But yeah, these exams were actually traumatic. And the last time we had such very serious, or I think in second year. And I can't say, of course, some people said it was anatomy that they really studied for like that, but for me, it wasn't really anatomy. It felt like all subjects in second year really took a lot from me. And this is the thing about medical exams, is that I feel like they kill something, they kill a part of you, they do something to you. I can go into the research of that, but I feel like they do something to your soul, they do something to your makeup. I feel those exams do not leave you the same way. Yeah, so most of the exams we studied till morning, we're not sleeping. We went for polyclinic and it was okay. The teachers were really lovely. It was a discussion. Of course, they would hear the struggle in the language. They would hear that you actually studied, much as you're really finding it hard to express yourself before the teachers. You actually studied, and they really gave generous with the marks and just the marks. And of course, that wasn't our intentions. Personally, me, I am not the marks person. I am the kind that, oh, I really want to know this. I want to study. And even if I find it hard to express myself before the teacher. I don't mind as long as I have information. That's usually my consolation. So yeah, we studied for those exams. Like I said, Paul was good. And then it came to surgery. Surgery, what happened? Yes, like I said, surgery was hospital surgery and then pediatric surgery, like for young kids. So both of the teachers had to sit together and ask you the questions. And yeah, I went. The thing about me is that when it comes to studying, I really do. And when it comes even to cases, I make sure that I go for the exams knowing all of the cases. Yeah. So for surgery, I felt like I knew all cases. Like, could show me a case like this, I read the first sentence, last sentence, I've given you the analysis of the disease. So I knew all of the cases for surgery especially. And then when it came to desk chirurg, I felt like, yes, for the files that I studied, I actually knew most of them because most of them were pictures. And I didn't really mind about reading what was wrong with the child, this and this. I didn't care about that. I went to the picture and I saw, okay, what is here? Is it a grisha? Is it this and this? Is it this and this? So all of those kind of things, I knew them. So the problem came to the fact that we did not have an exposure to all of the files for the examinations, like all of the pictures. Yes, I did have the exposure to all of the pictures. So the picture that I got is one that I did not study for. Yes, so when I looked at it like this, like both of my cases, I think one of my cases I had a patient that probably had a thrombus on limbs, and then this thrombus traveled, and like a floating thrombus, it traveled to the infrarenal part of the aorta. Yes, so it got there, and I had that x-ray, so I had to diagnose it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, come on, we did this at 4 a.m. So immediately I knew the answer. And then when I saw the desk chirurg, when I saw that picture, I was like, this picture is not familiar, but I'm going to try and say it's a hernia. Yeah, because it looks like a hernia, but I was not so attentive to the fact that, okay, the child, it was a scrotum of a child, and one of the scrotum was a bit decreased in size and hyperemic. Then the other, and so I had to really understand what was going on between the two parts of the scrotum. So as I looked at it, I just kept on telling myself, this is a hernia. It's a hernia that is going into the scrotum and probably did this and this. So I went to the teacher. So my hospital therapy, I answered it excellently, and hospital surgery, I answered it excellently. And then the teacher was like, okay, time for the room. And then the desk chirurg teacher comes, and I boldly say, this is a hernia. This hernia of the scrotum, it's probably coming from the femoral linguinal region and entering into the scrotal region. And then the teacher was like, are you sure? Please, can you have the file again? Can you have the picture again? And then I looked at it. Then I was like, okay, let's start like this. So the confidence came, and I started describing to the teacher. I was like, okay, here the bit, there is blood supply to this part because of the way it looks smaller, it looks like the cells here are dying, this and this, but this is normal. And he was like, okay, what do you think can cause this? I was like, there might be torsion somewhere. Not actually, I didn't actually mention torsion. I was like, there might be a strangulation somewhere with the blood vessels that has if not come. So the teacher only wanted me to mention torsion. My explanation was right, but the fact that torsion was not there, he was like, okay, what do you think will happen to this child? I said, eventually, of course, there's no way this can become normal again. We definitely have to cut it off. And yes, we definitely have to know that this child might probably be infertile in the future. So yeah, that's just gave me my marks by the grace of God. I bless the Lord. But the trauma came in for hospital therapy and endocrinology. You know that those are like our mains, because we're doing like general medicine therapy. It's like general practitioners subject here in Russia. So that's like our major subject. And yeah, this is not, I can say they were not like easy passing. No way you can go to them and deceive them. So you should really know your thing. And of course, a lot of them are going off your case to just see how much knowledge you have in your head, because that's now as a doctor, because tomorrow you might show up in the hospital and start interacting with them freely. So they had to really make sure that you actually know what you're talking about. And yes, by the grace of God, we also passed that one. Endocrinology too. Endocrinology looks like the teachers actually did not want to pass us, because like I said, there was really no case that I did not study. I studied all cases and I had the diagnosis for all cases. The problem only came in case you took me off the case, and maybe because I had this teacher, he was therapy. He asked me, okay, what is your case? I was like, ankylosing spondyloarthritis. Then he was like, okay, do you need medication that was invented our rector, the rector of the university, for treatment of this. Of course, we were told about it in class, but I didn't really think that, okay, this guy is going to ask me about this very patriotic medicine and very patriotic to the university. I didn't know he was going to ask me that. But yeah, I struggled. I was like, oh my God. I was discussing with my friend, and then I also asked her. She couldn't remember. She was like, oh, there's X there. I was like, oh my God. Thank God I didn't remember that, because if I did, I was going to say there's TX in the medication. But of course, I didn't really get it. And I was like, okay. And he asked something else, and I got it. So that's how they usually do it. When you don't get this one, they ask you another extra one, just to assess your knowledge and make sure that you actually know what you're talking about. So yeah, that passed. Endocrinology too. Yeah, this year was really not easy on me. He was tough. And this was what I was telling myself. I was like, what if I did not study? What was really going to happen? Because on top of my studying, I really needed grades, honestly, because these teachers were not playing. There's one of the exams that I came out, and one of my friends that I was studying with had to ask me, Tina, is everything okay? Because I saw them call an extra teacher for you. And it's like, you might think that they're actually violating me, but it's not really violation, if I can put it like that. But let me say that all of my exams in medical school have not had it easy. Like, it's usually complicated, very hard. I think I told you guys about pediatrics and how I spent 40 minutes with the teacher explaining myself to the teacher. So yeah, I've not had any easy subjects, like easy going that. Of course, if the subject is generally easy, would have it easy. But on the ones that are tough, trust me, it's like, we're just this girl called Tina. But yeah, my friend asked, is everything okay? So, everything is okay. There was an endocrinology teacher that was coming to assess me on the endocrinology part. I was like, okay. Also, the same was in polyclinic, because I had like 3 teachers at me. One started, and then as he was going, eventually the other colleague also asked her own question. I answered. Another one came. I thought she was just passing by picking her papers. She stood and was like, oh, what about additional values that need assessed for metabolic syndrome? I was like, okay. So I didn't really think hard about that one, because I had mentioned most of the parts. I had talked about hypertension, I had talked about obesity, I had spoken about dyslipidemia, and yeah, they wanted to just go inside to the depth of dyslipidemia, what happens in the blood, what do you see what changes do you see in the blood, and therefore I had to just talk about the triglycerides and HDL and LDL and mention the values, which are the normal values and the abnormal values to them. And they were like, okay, yeah, that's true. And they were like, okay, which marks do we give you? Of course I'm gonna go for the highest marks. But yeah, that was it for the exams. But like I said, a lot of these exams in medical school take something from you. I wish I can really go into the research of that, because I remember the day after the exams, this was like, we did not sleep for like days. I think last time I really slept was the Monday after polyclinic therapy. Tuesday I didn't sleep, Wednesday I didn't sleep, Thursday I didn't sleep. So that Friday after completing the exams, there was that excitement of the fact that, okay, Lord, you've passed, thank you. And then coming in the night, I could not sleep. It was like Friday to could not sleep. I was struggling. And then Sunday is when I noticed that this exam did something to my soul. I am not normal. And yeah, I could not, like, I was struggling to sleep. The whole night I was struggling to sleep. I had to put a prayer sermon, not like a prayer sermon, a prayer message, yeah, and prayer with it. I was just like, it was like something is going to jump from me. I don't really know how to explain it, but yeah, it kept going like that. And I just played that prayer sermon and I continued praying with it. And my whole prayer the whole time was just, Lord help me. Lord, I'm not okay. Lord help me. And I remember that day, that Saturday, I slept close to 6 and I ended up waking up at 8:30. And mind you, my church starts at 8:30. So by 8:30 at least I should be at church. But this was the time I was waking up. Oh my God. And that day I was really late. Yeah. And it was only Sunday that I was late. I think the Sunday of the polyclinic therapy also I was late as well. Yes, I was late. And that was because I think I slept around 7, 8 there. I would just put my head to at least just put and get up. But it didn't work because apparently I needed to sleep and I ended up being at church at 9 something. So yeah, like I said, they did something to us. Most of these exams did something to us, and we bless the Lord for helping us finish strong. We bless the Lord for giving us the grace to actually study and show ourselves approved before the teachers. And that's it for this. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video, and I wish you guys could tell me ideas of what to shoot and we'll do it. Otherwise, have a blessed day or week. Yeah, see you.